You're listening to Send This to Your CEO, the B2B Tech Marketing Podcast, presented by 4B Marketing. Explore the world of B2B tech marketing with industry insiders and experts. Our episodes are packed with the latest insights, strategies, and trends to help you stay ahead in this ever-evolving industry. Whether you want to sharpen your marketing skills or keep up with tech developments, we have everything you need right here.
Okay, awesome. Well, let's go on ahead and get this thing started. So my name is Sam Grise. I'm the Director of Strategy here with 4B Marketing, and really excited for the discussion today. We've got the Head of Global Partner Marketing, Julie Crescenti Heck, joining us today to talk about channel growth and optimizing partner programs. Great experience from Julie. She's worked with EMC, VMware, Extreme Networks. She's worked on the sales side. She's worked on the direct marketing side. She's worked on the partner marketing side as well. But really excited for the discussion. And I'm going to go ahead and pull this up just to share a little bit more. But Julie, thank you so much for joining us. Would love to get a little bit of background beyond what I just shared. Obviously, some great experience, but really excited for the discussion. So, Julie.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. So thank you. And everyone who has joined. Can't wait to hear your questions and be able to interact. Again, my name is Julie Crescenti Heck, and I work for Ordr. We're a cybersecurity company that we see, know, and secure all connected assets on a network. So very important what we're doing, especially with the growing attack surface that's happening within our world now. And so it's important that we know everything that's on our network so that we can actually try to control it and control the vulnerabilities. So anyway, that's what we do at Ordr. I'm sure I can answer other questions on that and how important that is. But I know today I'm excited to talk about my favorite subject, which of course is the partner ecosystem and how we actually leverage the partner ecosystem to be able to be successful for our companies and actually help customers, help people really be successful. So anyway, thank you.
I love what you just said there too about helping people. That's what it's all about, right? That's what it comes down to. And at 4B Marketing, one of our values or our mission is to be the leaders in creating a positive impact. We are a tech channel marketing agency really focused on outcomes. What do we do to create a positive impact? We live in a capitalistic society, so a lot of times it comes back to driving revenue, reducing costs, reducing risk, cash flow optimization, asset utilization, all of those pieces that we want to impact for businesses that we work with. But a big piece that comes into us is that channel ecosystem, that partner ecosystem. And so I would love to hear from you for some of our listeners, how did you get into channel marketing, partner marketing? How did that journey transition from the direct side, from a sales side? How did you end up in this role?
That's a great question. Well, I think first and foremost, I started off in sales early in my career, way back when at Computer Associates. But I think it really gives you a good perspective when you start off in sales, if you're a marketer, because you understand some of the trials and tribulations that a salesperson goes through. And that's our job really in marketing, is to, help our salespeople, whether it's our partner salespeople or within our own organization, but be able to understand our value proposition, who we are, what do we stand for as a company. And so anyway, starting off in sales gives you the empathy. And then I was in corporate marketing, which I loved because you get to touch so many different things that, in regards to whether it was branding or whether it was events or that sort of thing. And then it was, okay, great. How do you make sure you translate that into pipeline? Well, you work through a partner, which actually then gives you, the one-to-many approach, because, one-to-one direct sales force can only go so far and is very limiting. So the partner community and partner ecosystem is really how to grow the business. So.
Love it. And speaking of the partner community and the channel community, it's changed a lot. Right. I think that traditionally we always think of, okay, OEM manufacturer, then you've got reseller or MSP. And that's typically, what we think of with the channel. It's changed a lot over the past couple of years. And one of the things that you brought up to me was, hey, partner marketing, because there's affiliate partners, there's associated partners, there's marketplace partners, and so on. Would love to get your perspective on where we are today with the partner community, right? One, from a perspective of the challenges that you're being tasked with, from a perspective of growing that partner community. One of the things that we see all the time is budgets, right? Limited budgets changing, so on, right? From partners going, hey, MDF, right? It shrunk a little bit over the past few years. What does that look like? Would love to get your perspective on just the state of the channel and the state of the partner community today.
Thank you. I think what's really important is that today it's not about a point solution. It's not about the partners aren't looking to sell one little thing or one transaction, right? They're really looking at a solution, and a solution includes many different components in order to solve what their customers' needs are, especially in security, right? I mean, if you look around, there's a lot of security companies. Well, that's because the need is there, right? And there's a lot of bad actors out there, and they are all working together. So indeed, in order for us to be effective, we have to all work together. So what that means for the partner ecosystem is that it's not just about saying, hey, I have the best mousetrap. It's being able to say, I also integrate with X. I also together am giving a better and stronger solution to my customer. And so when we talk about the partner ecosystem, it's about, okay, who are we integrating with to tell and have a stronger story? What does our product do to add value and to enhance and accelerate that solution? And then how are we enabling our partners to be able to service their customers? Because at the end of the day, it's their relationship that they are really owning, and they have to make sure that they're delivering, and we have to stand behind our partners to do that. So I think that the partner ecosystem that we look at is not only, yes, some OEM, but also the alliances, right? Look at, at Ordr, we're really proud. We have over 200 integrations with our product, and we are constantly adding to that. And that's what I think really makes a significant difference for any solution vendor or any partner or reseller that's going to work with somebody like an Ordr or anybody that they're choosing to work with on their line card, is that they have to know, okay, what else does it integrate with? Is it going to integrate seamlessly? Is it going to be something that my customers can actually use and see the results that we've promised them? And I think that that's what's really important there is making sure that all of those pieces fit together in a nice puzzle to solve what our customers' needs are. So
I love it. I love it. There's probably 4 or 5 nuggets that you just dropped right there that are awesome. Just to recap and kind of emphasize some of those nuggets that I caught. One, relationships, right? We are in a relationship game, right? Yep. How do we facilitate that relationship from a marketing perspective to help go drive that business? Another piece you talked about is the customer, right? What is the customer looking for? What is that buying cycle like? What is the stresses that they have to be able to have those integrations and so on? But also the second customer that you talked about is that partner community, right? Understanding the value that partner is bringing to those customers, where your technology can integrate and fit into their solution stack. You aren't trying to take a square peg into a round hole. You're trying to find that round peg to go into that hole so that you can solve solutions for your partner, ultimately on behalf of the customer. But I love that because that can stand the test of time, right? The partner ecosystem changes. We've got crazy economy stuff going on right now, all of these pieces that are going on in the world, but those relationships are the key. That really is the key to partner marketing and really understanding how you can go drive a business. And, with all of the stuff that's going on, I would love to hear with the technology and, the relationships that we've talked about, what is a major significant trend you're seeing with this partner marketing ecosystem, right? There's 12,000 things that you could go after, right? You've got a bunch of partners, you've got installers, you've got, MSPs, the ecosystem can be massive. What is a significant trend that you're seeing to stay ahead of those changes that are happening in the channel?
I'm going to say 2 things. One is in regards to focus. And I guess actually maybe the focus is the overarching theme. No longer do we want to have a partner ecosystem with hundreds of partners like we used to, or thousands of partners, because guess what? we're not doing a service to those partners if we're not enabling them and building the relationships with a partner. So for us, it's about really making sure that we have the right partners that understand the business, understand how to help their customers, have a good reputation with their customers, understand the value and what needs to be, what insights are needed for their customers. So anyway, really about focus. So focus on the partners and have the right partners. And then the second is focus on the right customers, making sure that we understand where our sweet spot is. We're not all things to all people. And where is it that we're going to make the biggest difference in being able to make the traction to meet the needs of the customer? So looking at that and having a focused ideal customer profile is very important, and making sure that aligns with the partners, that the reselling partners or integration partners that we choose also understand that or share that same value with that ideal customer profile to know that we're a good match and be able to deliver on our promises.
I love it. Love it. Focus, 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 right? You've got dollars that you need to spend to go drive the business, but let's make sure we're maximizing the value of those dollars. And again, you touched on the kind of three pieces, right? It is your ecosystem from where you want to go drive the business, but is it the right customer profile? That's the first piece. And then what is the partner that fits that customer profile to go solve, right? It isn't just, hey, we're going to throw this all out there, bring everybody into the fold. Let's just get as many sellers as we can. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to drive value for the customer. It doesn't make sense to drive value for Ordr or, making sure that you're driving value. So I love that. And the big question, right, with the future of tech is AI, right? We hear it all the time from a marketing agency perspective. Hey, what are you doing with AI? How are you utilizing AI? What does AI mean to you? All of those pieces. I would love to get your perspective of within the partner community, where is AI taking a play today? And where do you see in the future AI being impactful?
I think AI really helps us to focus and customize what it is that we're doing. We're able to leverage it. Like we use machine learning and AI in our product alone because we're looking at all the devices that are on a network, and we know how a printer is supposed to behave, and we can actually use AI to learn from the different devices of what is normal, what is abnormal, where is it that we see potential vulnerabilities. So we're using AI in our technology as well as, of course, all of our integrated partners like Cisco, for instance, very much in line with their AI strategy. Just trying to do predictive analytics, right? Of where do we see the vulnerabilities? Where is it happening? How do we make sure that we apply that to all the different components of the solution? And then also using AI to make sure that we're not doing some generic campaigns, for instance, to these customers. We actually know because we can look at the AI from the different technology stack and be able to say, okay, great. We know the buying behavior. We know that what they're predisposed in the cycle. So how do we use AI to make sure that we're really talking to them about what they care about? And we see that, and using that is very important to make it relevant to each of us. Because, we care about, we're all humans, right? And we want to know that people are listening and that it's not irrelevant, or it's not valuable what they have to say, because we're not even in the market or the price point or the solution, or et cetera. So I think using AI and really being able to customize what our customers need and partners as well is very important.
Love it. Love it. Right. It's not the end all be all, but it's an enhance. Right. And I think a big piece of that goes into AI in general is the data. Right? Capturing correct data, making sure that we're utilizing that data correctly, right? Because data is kind of the lifeblood of a business, right?
Absolutely.
How do we use that to actually provide value, right? We can talk about data all day, right? I mean, especially from a marketing perspective. And we hear about data all the time, right? Whether it's click-through rates, or it's people on landing pages, or it's conversions and all those things. There's a lot of vanity metrics out there from a marketing perspective that people measure. Would love to get your perspective from a partner marketing ecosystem. What are the main KPIs that you're measured on? And what are you measuring yourself on? And what are those objectives? Because we work with organizations, and sometimes it's, hey, we just need to get leads in the door, right? Well, leads are great, but what does that mean for the business, right? And I'll use an example from my past. Great organization, MQLs through the door. They were doing a fantastic job. But they weren't the correct MQL, right? They were in the data center. I was selling contact center, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was a bit of a challenge there because the alignment with sales wasn't quite there, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were hitting MQL metrics. They were doing a great job, right? They were getting our name out there and everything like that. But the alignment of the KPI was just a little bit off. So would love to get your perspective on that.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think for us, in marketing in general, or channel marketing or whatever, it's like you said, it's the quality and it's the timing of the lead.
Mm.
So I think it's one thing to have lots of MQLs, but if they, we're measured by how they're going down the funnel, right? Where are they in the middle of the funnel? In the beginning, yes, sure, they stopped by a booth or they came to the website or whatever. But if they're not willing to go and spend a little bit of time with us, like whether it's a webinar, whether it's a demo, whether it's a conversation, then we look at that and we say, okay, was that really an effective event or effective campaign if they're not moving down the funnel? So we look at it that way to say, okay, what are we doing in marketing that's actually helping to accelerate the sales cycle, helping them to move down, and then looking at it to say, what are the tools that we're using? Are they effective or not? Whether it's 6 Sense or something else that says, okay, is it accurate that they really are in the buying cycle or not? They could be just looky-loos, and that's fine. I mean, all of us look at things and then make decisions later, right? But just having to understand that and understand where you put your efforts and where you put your resources is very important. And just having a lead we all have to sell. And we all are sellers in our roles, and we have to drive pipeline. And driving pipeline means getting it down the funnel further and not just at the top.
I love it. I love it. And one of the things that you mentioned there was buyer intent, using some technology for that. Is that a significant piece of your guys' strategy of using tool sets like a 6 Sense, like a demand base, so on and so forth, from a technology perspective to support that?
We do use 6 Sense. We do use other tools, and that's important because it gives us the insight that we need in order to, again, understand the buyer, right? All of us I read one study that was, I think it was by IDC, that said that we go to a website like 40 times before we ever raise our hand and say, I want a demo or give me a call or book an appointment. Okay, that's a lot. That's a lot of research. Whether that's half of that, it's still a lot. So it's good for us to know where should we spend our time and how should we best use, like for inside sales, or if you do have a SDR on your team, well, they need to pick and choose where they're going to be calling and where do they do the demo. So that's really important. The tools that we use, to focus our resources. That's going to turn into opportunities.
Yeah, and it sounds like you're utilizing the tools more to create a personalized experience, because we understand now what we consider it is the end goal being a meeting, right? Getting to that conversation with the salesperson, they're moving down the funnel. And there's a bunch of different studies and numbers out there of what that takes. But when I first started my sales career, it was, hey, it's going to take 7 touches, phone call and email, to move across that. Now with the implementation of AI and, mass emails and all of these different pieces, it looks like it's more like 35 to 40 touches, right? So how do you have a mix of what you need to move that down the funnel to get to that point? And a piece that I always like to talk about the partner marketing side is, there's kind of 3 avenues, right? There's to the partner community, there's through the partner community, and there's with the partner community. I would love to get your perspective on, how to have a successful with partner community effort, if you will. What are some of the key ingredients that drive a successful campaign with the partner ecosystem?
So some of the things that we've done that have been successful is doing some of the field events with them where they're actually driving it, but we're holding a webinar or not even but in-person event. Could be just, less than 10 people, but it's really giving them a hands-on experience of how they can use the product if, our particular solution, for instance, to be able to, solve their needs, have the insights that they're looking for, and be able to react and mitigate any kind of a risk that they might see. So anyway, I think the in-person events are very valuable with a partner. We also do joint events with a partner to be able to make both of our dollars go a lot further, because when we both have skin in the game, then it's a lot more effective. So I think there's that. And then the third is really having with fewer partners, spending the time with them to understand how do we enable them. And when you're with the partner, how do we, a partner has on average at least 20 on their line card, right, of solutions. Okay, well, they're going to go to 20 websites. Are they going to go to 20 trainings? Are they going to go, that's a lot when they're trying to also drive pipeline. So it's how do we make sure that we understand what they need and help them understand our product and the solution and what to listen for and what to react to and what are the key words and what is it that people are really worried about? How can we give them the insights to make sure that they are addressing their customers' needs so that it is really relevant to them?
I love it. And a piece that you talked to there was enablement, right? From a seller's perspective, and in my career, right, I was in the VAR ecosystem. You mentioned, 20 vendors on the line card. Sometimes it's a lot more, right? It's a lot more. And so I'm having conversations with my customers, high level strategy. What do we need to accomplish? Again, tying back to those business outcomes. And then I'm coming back and going, okay, what technology fits to go drive this? And one of the challenges that I had is when you have 100 vendors on your line card or so, right? It is challenging to know which one's which. So how are you enabling that partner community to go, okay, look, you don't need a slide deck that's 30 slides long to understand, hey, here's, the key areas to focus on. It's a quick battle card. It's a quick one pager. It's something like that with a couple questions of, hey, if you hear this, this is the thought, right? It's really equipping those salespeople to go out there and have success. And a big piece there starts to go into, the partner relationships as a whole, right? Managing brand new ones, existing ones, direct sales teams, maybe in the past, right? There may be some co-opetition sometimes when it comes into the channel and so on. Would love to hear your perspective on that relationship, right? How do you maintain the relationship and grow it? Obviously, with Ordr having a more tight-knit partner community, more exclusive of, hey, this is our partner community, this is what we focus on. But maybe even from the past of where you had a direct sales team and a partner team, how do you manage that? Because there is some conflict that can arise.
Well, I think that, when I worked at VMware, for instance, one of the things that Carl Eschenbach, who, was a fantastic CRO at VMware, there's still some percentage, say it's 5%, that you're going to do direct because you need the IP, you need to be with the customers, side by side when they're doing a very sophisticated and complex implementation, for instance. But the balance can be done through the partners as long as the partner, we want to sell through our partners and we want to enable them. And it's a lot of, it's in person, it's follow up, it's integrity, it's doing what you say you're going to do. It's making sure that your partner is the hero to the customer. I think that is key to helping the partners be successful. And I think in my career, that's where I've seen it works best. When, my salespeople know their partner salespeople, like where their kids go to school or they're both on the soccer team or, they trust each other. They're a friend. They become a friend because they have face-to-face interactions. And I think during COVID, that was really challenging for many of us because especially if you were starting a new company or, new position, it's like, okay, doing everything over Zoom or, WebEx, it's like, it's just not the same. You want to do that touch and feel and have the interaction and see the body language and, break bread together, so to speak. So I think that's really the differences that I've seen is that the more you can have building a relationship and understand that we're in the people business and that if our partners are successful, we're successful. So what do we do to help them?
I mean, you're giving us gold here because there's a couple pieces that you mentioned that maybe you didn't even realize you were talking about. But one that you said was we want to make our partner the star of the show. Love that, right? They've got the relationships with those customers that they've built up over years, right? And so enabling them to go be successful. The second piece that you started talking about a little bit was the trickle down effect, if you will, right? The expectation is that our sellers are building relationships with those partners as well. It's not just our channel organization or our partner organization.
Right.
It is the direct sellers as well are building relationships with those partners and building that ecosystem and those relationships. And then you've got two sellers going after that account or
Right.
whatever it may be. And then you've got the support of their marketing team. You've got the support of your marketing team. And that's where the money's really made, if you will, right? That's where things start to come together. It's not just you. It's not just your team.
No.
It has to trickle down through the whole organization of, hey, we've got a partner mentality of building relationships with our partners. And it's expected of our salespeople to do the same, right? Because there needs to be that give. And really, it goes back to the biggest piece that you said, which is making the partner the star of the show, which I love from my background. That's great, right? I love that kind of mentality. You're really focused on how do we go drive business for them? And it comes back to you, which is a great mentality. One question that I had just regarding channel programs, right? I've been through so many of them when I was on the VAR side, so many trainings, so many certifications, all of these kind of things. Would love to get your feedback and kind of idea around the partner community, if you will, of what does that program look like? What are some pitfalls that you've seen in the past with partner organizations, if you will, of those channel communities? What are some pitfalls? What are some great strengths within a partner program?
Well, I think that first and foremost with the partner community, it's a give and get, right? And it's a reciprocal. Like we want to enable our partners, giving them the programs, the training, yes, to be able to source their own pipeline. And of course, we want to also do the same thing by giving leads or giving opportunities to our partners that we trust and know that they can work with the customer. But in a program, and what I see is that, you know, understanding that the partner has only so much time, they need to be able to identify the right opportunity, understand your value proposition, and be able to have a simplified program. And you don't have to jump through a gazillion hoops in order to, you know, get the attention. Have somebody return the phone call for one. Like, you know, when a partner, they just need to talk to somebody right now because they've got this, you know, a customer question and they want to be responsive. So I think that on the, as long as, you know, I guess first and foremost with any partner program, you have to have the right product, right? The product has to be that the partner can stand behind it and know that it's a good product and they're not going to have a headache with it, right? I mean, that's first and foremost. Let's say that that's the given. Once that's done, then great. How is the partner going to be enabled to understand how to identify the opportunity and making sure that that they actually can make money on it, right? I mean, they have to pay their people, and people want to get paid. So it's like understanding that you have the product, you've enabled them to be successful, you're going to pay them well, and then you're going to have also throughout that journey is the integrity of the relationship. Because guess what? We may not all work for the same company for 40 years in our career, right? We're going to go to the next company and we're, you know, and for some it could be 40 different companies, or it could be 3. It doesn't matter. The point is that the chances are you're going to work for multiple companies and you only have one brand, and that's yourself. And if you, especially if you're in sales or you're a partner, you want to go and know that you can stand behind wherever, whatever conversations that you're having with potential customers. And so integrity in your own personal brand is very, very important to be successl.
I love that. I love that because I am one of those people that has not worked at a company for 40 years. I've worked at 5 companies now, and bounced around the ecosystem to learn other sides of the business, right? Federal, SLED, commercial, global, all of those kind of components. And it always comes back to who you are as the base, right? That is the integrity piece you're talking about. And then the programs come from that. But it always comes back to the personal side, the human element, right? And that's a big piece that's happening now in the ecosystem, in my opinion, is a lot of people are hiding behind keyboards, if you will.
Yes, right.
It is a data-driven world, right? The digital world is changing. We are becoming digital. Our buyers, the ecosystem or demographic of the buyers is shifting. A lot of them are doing a lot of research up front before they're having those conversations. Maybe like 40 touch points on the website, downloading white papers and all of those pieces. But it always comes back to the person. And one of the challenges that I've seen over the past 3 or 4 years with some of my buddies in the space and so on is they are just hiding behind email, hiding
Mm-hmm.
behind the keyboard. Is that something that you're seeing as well? And how do you get out of that shift? Because it is a relationship game. It is being in front of people. Have you seen that as well as is something that's happened in the marketplace over the past few years? And what do you think about that for the future?
Um, I think that it's interesting. I don't know if you remember, like on events, there was a whole thing about like first we used to go to 1 million events like early in our career, right?
Mhm.
Then they started being, oh, a lot of people didn't want to go to events because they were just so darn expensive. Then, and just getting out of the office, right? Then
Mhm.
COVID hit and all of us really missed each other. We missed
Yeah.
not seeing each other. We missed not having lunch with our friends or, people that we really enjoyed doing business with. And now I think we have this balance where it's nice that we can have a webinar like this, for instance. That's fantastic. And hopefully we can portray through this type of medium that, have a follow-up conversation and being able to actually meet somebody at an event or be locally. So I do think that, it's now that there's stages before you ever get to the first person meeting where it didn't used to be that way. So that's kind of the way, we build up to having a one-on-one and FaceTime meeting, and three-dimensional meeting where we actually see each other.
Yeah.
So I do see that. I also see a challenge, and I know that I'm as guilty of it as anybody else, is it's almost like taking a phone call is a personal thing now, right? When your cell phone, it's like it says spam call or it says telemarketer on it. So you go, okay, do I get that or do I not get that? And know that it's not in your personal phone book. So it makes it a little bit harder to be able to, first you have to build their trust before you do some cold call out. So whether it's they went to the website, that's really helping. If they went to the website, they saw it, maybe they downloaded some kind of a demo, on YouTube or whatever. And then by the time they say, oh, okay, Sam's calling, I get it, I'll take this call now and see what he has to say. I think that that's really helping. Or it's, let's go meet at this, RSA trade show
Mhm.
or whatever the case may be, that's coming up. So I think that that's where it's really changing as far as it's like you have to build up. It's like stages before you ever even meet anybody in person, and you build the trust before that even happens. That didn't used to be the case, right?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think you're spot on. And a big piece to add to that is the timing,
Mm-hmm.
right? We can have everything aligned from a perspective of budget, the people we need to
Mm-hmm.
talk to, all of those things. But if the timing's off, right? How do we maintain
Mm-hmm.
that relationship? A lot of that
Mm-hmm.
happens in sales, right? And I don't
Mm-hmm.
know about you, but I personally don't like when somebody comes to my house and goes, "This offer expires tomorrow," right?
Yeah, right.
Like I got my floors redone a couple years ago, and the gentleman came in and said, "Well, I don't negotiate." I said, "That's fine, no problem." And then by the end of the conversation, it was, "I can give you 15% off if you
Yeah.
need today," right? And I'm like, "Well, I'm okay. I don't like the salesy, right?
Yeah.
Value, right?" So
Mm-hmm.
that piece only comes the value with building that relationship and getting out there, right? How do you meet them at
Mm-hmm.
an RSA, or how do you meet them at a
Mm-hmm.
happy hour, or all of those pieces
Mm-hmm.
are going to be so important for the success, right? And it goes
Mm-hmm.
to the partner side, it goes to the end customer, it's all of it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd love to ask you this, because the ecosystem has changed, like we've talked about, from a sales
Mm-hmm.
perspective, a marketing perspective. What are things that channel marketers or partner marketers should be doing to stay on top of their game, right? Is there some research that they should do? Is there a great avenue, a great Reddit thread that they should be reading? What tool sets are out there to help facilitate somebody that is leading a channel organization or a partner organization? How do they stay on top of their game?
Mm-hmm. So I think that there's, we have information overload, not only our customers and partners, but we do as, marketing people.
Mhm.
So I think, of course, there's things if there's, it's peers in our network. I think that's a big one because we listen to each other just like our customers all listen to each other as well. And so I think the peers in the networks of what's going on that way. Also, like I've been to an in-partner conference where they really brought together some great industry folks like Jay McBain, who I enjoy listening to. I like him over the years. So I have been to some of the industry events that are based on organized by the tools that I'm using, like in Partner, for instance. And then I think also listening to our own people. What is sales hearing? Like having relationships with our colleagues
Mm.
and of course through the partners, what are they hearing through the customers? But I think it's really about listening and talking to your own internal network of people that work for you side by side with you, your manager, whatever the case may be. Everybody's bringing a different perspective, and we have to take that into consideration and then go, oh, is that the trend they're seeing because of either their role or they have a seat at the table that, guess what, we didn't have that seat. So we need to be able to listen and hear what the feedback is. So I think that there's not a one thing. I think it's that we have to be open to many different forms of getting our communication, again, whether it's online, whether it's in person at a conference, or whether it's with our own colleagues.
I love that. The own colleagues is so important. I think that
Mhm.
that's missed so many times because
Mhm.
we're so focused on the end goal of driving revenue for the business, right? And so we're like, this customer, I've got all the data on the
Right,
customer, I've got all the data on my partner, I've got this ecosystem building, we're running, we're going across.
right,
Forget about our internal team that's on the ground, that's having
right.
conversations, right? Because we're so focused on that end goal. But there's so many nuggets that they have from a
Hmm.
conversation perspective, or, hey,
Hmm.
you know what? Our technology is really great in this industry. This industry over here does something very similar, right?
Right,
We may
right.
be able to take that over there, but sometimes that's a salesperson that has that insight. Sometimes it's
Mhm.
an engineer. Sometimes it's an inside rep that has
That's
that
exactly
insight.
right. Yep.
But we just miss that sometimes, I think, right? We just go out and we're focused on the end
Hmm.
goal a little too much sometimes that we miss what's right under our nose.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
I'm
I agree.
glad that you mentioned that.
Yeah. Also, I feel like some of our best marketing campaigns, they've all been from sales. Sales goes, oh, this is what people want. They want to have, whatever, this storage drive and, 2U form factor, and it's, whatever, gazillion gig of, possibility of what the storage it can hold and that sort of thing. So I think that really listening to sales who are talking to customers all the time and what language the customer is using so
Hmm.
that we can reiterate that back that, okay, we hear you, we understand, and here's how we're solving it. I think that's really important, and salespeople are ideal for just, have a relationship with sales. Sales is our friend. We are salespeople. So I think that that's really key that sales and marketing understand the role that each other plays and how to leverage it.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, it's so important also because as we've talked about the partner community changing, right?
Hmm.
Technology's changing. So
Hmm.
are our customers' businesses,
Hmm.
right? Their language is changing on a
Hmm.
monthly, quarterly, yearly basis, right?
Right.
They're facing challenges like we talk about AI, right? They're
Right.
using AI stuff, right? They've got different challenges as well, right? And they're changing the way that they speak and think about things as well. And the closest person to that
Hmm.
is the salesperson. So
Right.
tying
Right.
up with them, I think is the best strategy there. Um, would love to ask you for our listeners.
Hmm.
Obviously, you're the head of global partner marketing for Ordr. Great success. If somebody's looking to get into a role like yours, what is some advice that you would give them as far as maybe trajectory, experience, those kind of pieces that helped you get to that role? What advice would you give them?
Um, I think to be in channel marketing, or marketing in general, is really having the empathy of what a salesperson goes through and what's the role of what's the life of a salesperson. So if they have the opportunity to do some kind of sales and whether it's inside sales, whether it's, anyway, any kind of sales, I think makes you a better marketer because you understand what it's like. And so I think that's one way. The other is that one of the things that I've found to be helpful in my career is that I have had deep stints in like public relations, in
Mhm.
corporate marketing. So, and of course in partner marketing, but in general, what I bring to the table, which I think is valuable to the companies that I work for, is understanding all the different marketing levers that we can use and
Mhm.
how to help our partners leverage those, whether it's a press release because we're going to announce a new solution or a new event, whether it's doing an event, a field event, for instance. How do we do that? How do we promote it? Whether it's building a campaign, um, you know, whether it's understanding how to build a sales script when their SDR is on the phone. So I think just being able to not just be one discipline within marketing, but having a breadth of experience, then you know which lever to push depending on what your partners and what your customers are looking for and how to be successful and be able to be a real partner with your partners because you understand the different marketing elements that might be helpful depending on what the challenge is and what the goals are.
Makes sense to me. Challenge yourself. Get outside of your comfort zone. Go learn a different part of the industry, if you will, whether it's field marketing, whether it's partner marketing, whether it's corporate marketing, whether it's the PR side. Understand that, right? So challenge yourself. You may be on the content side. Don't be afraid to go over to the digital side, right? Challenge yourself.
Exactly.
You can understand that ecosystem of where we can pull those levers to go drive success. You mentioned Jay McBain, which I'm a huge fan, by the way. I drop his stuff into our chat all the time. I'm like, he's got a new post. Take a look. Take a look. But, kind of closing thoughts, right? From a perspective of where the partner community was, where it's going, how growth is happening through the partner ecosystem. Would love to get your insight into just put a button on it, right? Wrap this thing up. Few key thoughts that you would like to leave the audience with.
I think that today we're asked to do, which I know everybody has heard, but we're asked to do more with less all the time. So the closing thought that I have on that is, you know what? Focus. You're not going to get everything, you're not going to be, again, all things to all people, to all partners, to all customers. So where can you actually make a difference and make the biggest impact? So focus, whether it's on your campaigns, whether it's how you understand which customers to go after, which partners you're actually going to give the love to that align with you so that you actually can have a meaningful relationship and help each other be successful. So I think focus I think that's the key going forward.
Awesome. I had 3 key takeaways from the conversation, and focus was one of them, which I think is so important. Whatever strategy you're doing, whatever you're targeting, you have to have some laser focus on what you want to go accomplish to go drive those goals. The other piece is integrity, right? We've got to be honest. We've got to be transparent. It is a foundational pillar for business. It's a foundational pillar for relationships, which relationships was the third point that I took away from our conversation, right? So important to have a good relationship, but it goes back to the integrity side of being honest and transparent and doing right by people. So those 3 takeaways I think were awesome. Awesome stuff. Julie, I can't thank you enough for joining us.
Oh, gosh, my pleasure. Thank you for asking me, and pleasure to be able to speak to you and to speak to your customers and those on the line here.
You've been listening to Send This to Your CEO, the B2B Tech Marketing Podcast. Tune in next time for more insights and strategies to stay ahead in B2B tech.